fence expert. Who's that guy in that orange shirt? Who must be the fence expert? It's almost time to talk about the fences. It's time to discuss operations and expenses. It's time, it's really time to elevate small businesses. It's time for Joe to drop his knowledge, it's relentless. This rhyme of mine is getting a bit ridiculous. Here we go, we're live with Joe. Enjoy the show.
What is up, everybody? Joe Evers, the Fence Expert, coming live from FenceTech 2025, Salt Lake City. Before we get started, I got to give a shout out to AFA. What a show, what a venue. This place is incredible. If you guys have watched the show at all, you've likely seen a lot of Nationwide content. They're a brand that I love to talk to you guys about because we love using them as a business. And if you've watched the Nationwide content, you know exactly who it is I'm talking to. But if you haven't, for the 2 or 3 people maybe that aren't familiar, give a brief introduction.
Okay, my name is Eric Timothy. I am Director of Engineering for Prime Source Building Products, which includes the Nationwide and Rocky brands, which are here at the show today.
I love it. Now, Eric's office there at Nationwide in Tampa is probably, well, don't let anybody else know, but it's probably the coolest office. It's got all the coolest stuff in it, for sure.
We do have a lot of toys in there. You even got to see the secret shelf.
I did. I was going to say there's a few things in there that came with a little bit of a, you didn't see this kind of wording. It is You might recognize this in a year or so.
Well, we're going to talk about a product today that you saw probably a year ago.
It looks a little familiar.
Yeah.
It looks a little familiar. So Eric, just real quickly so you're the director of development, which means your team are the ones that are developing the products that we're talking about today and products we talked about last year, the Safe Signal. You guys developed that as well, right?
Yes.
So it's you guys are really more behind the scenes, but a really big impact on the products that are coming out to the show floor.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the specialty products that Nationwide offers, whether it's the Cornerstone hinges or the Keystone latches,
yep.
My group is the one developing those products. We also do, handle quality control and working with manufacturing to make sure that products are manufactured to our specs.
Now, it's worth talking about for a minute here because this is maybe not unusual, but it's pretty special that your group is housed in the same building, in the same office space with the rest of like the sales team and the management team as well.
Oh yeah, I mean it's great to be there because we all have very close contact. It's interesting too. You've been to the building, and I actually sit. My office is over in sales and customer service and inside sales, so I get to listen to their conversations all day long. I kind of get a feel for that, what they're talking to customers about, and they'll come right directly into my door and ask questions when they have issues. So it's great to have that interaction. It really helps us understand what we need to do in terms of developing a product.
Absolutely. Well, and it allows the sales team and the customer service team to legitimately say, I don't know the answer, but give me just a second because I can go grab the guy that does or the team that does.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're right there.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and we had this earlier this year. I had a question. It's kind of a technical question about a hinge, the CL 7120. That's right. The 7211.
Yep.
7211. And it was just kind of a technical question about how the spring works inside, and reached out. They're like, well, we're going to send you straight to Eric because he's got all the answers. And it took us about a 5-minute conversation, understood what was going on, and moved on instead of leaving a message or getting forwarded to another department. And I bet the whole phone call was 10 or 15 minutes from me talking to customer service to getting transferred to you. It was a really quick process, I guess what I'm saying.
I mean, it's a big thing for us. Customer service is really important. And my guys, know that the customer comes first. So my guys know that if a call comes in, they need to stop what they're doing and they need to help this customer out. And so it's kind of something that runs through the entire business.
Sure. And it shows. I mean, I've had a lot of interaction with a lot of people at Nationwide. Every person seems to be on the same page that we're going to make the customer the hero. We're going to support them in any way they need to make sure they've got the tools they need, the educational resources they need, the product they need to really succeed. I
mean, it's really kind of core to the culture of the company is that the customer comes first.
Well, I'll tell you, as a customer, what that really shines through. It really does. Speaking of development and a product that I got a sneak peek of last year when I was there, we've got the pack latch. Can you tell us a little bit about the pack latch?
So the pack latch is a new latch that we developed. I know a lot of people think pack latch was that like Pac-Man.
Well, that's when I was sitting here. So let's see if we can get kind of a profile. There we go. It looks kind of like Pac-Man here. It just looks like a Pac-Man.
Waka waka
waka waka waka waka. Yeah, that was what I thought, but it sounds like there's more to it.
Well, that's one way to look at it. I kind of look at it this way. PAC is polymer, affordable, corrosion resistant. And that's really the thought process behind this latch. If you're familiar with the basic gravity latches, our part number NW38204, we have a stainless steel version and a steel version. It's just that real simple, small gravity latch.
Yeah.
Well, we wanted something that looked more like our other specialty products. So if you were using Cornerstone hinges, for example, this would be a product that looked better with Cornerstone hinges.
But if I had a project that didn't necessarily need like a traverse latch.
Yeah, if you didn't need something, high end with locking on both sides, and you were thinking about using a 204, well, what's another option? And
Sure.
that's really where we came to develop back latch.
So it's completely polymer. I mean, obviously the striker is metal, but the latch itself, complete polymer.
And the striker is 300 series stainless.
Okay.
The polymer is a glass-filled nylon that we use across the rest of our products. So
I was going to say, that sounds familiar.
it's something we use quite a bit because it works very well.
Well, I tell you, so we use a lot of the Traverse, and it's same compound that we find in the Traverse.
Same as in the Traverse and
Okay.
in the Cornerstone hinges.
Oh, and the Cornerstone hinges as well. I tell you what, I say those because we use those all the time. It's a great pair. Well, here's a plug for you. They're in the gate kits.
They are.
They're in the gate kits. Well, let's talk about gate kits at the very end because I love them and I could talk forever, but I want to make sure we cover the pack latch. But that just saying that the glass fill polymer is a great product that is used on hinges that are weight bearing and guaranteed, that sort of thing.
Yeah. And here's the neat thing. When we look at, as we develop this, the affordable part.
Right.
What does that look like? So just rough numbers. That the pack latch is about 25% less expensive than the stainless steel 204.
Really?
So it's a very affordable product.
Sure.
So it hits that edge.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like we're sacrificing quality.
No,
it's well
not at
built. Also, another thing to talk about, I'm counting a total of 8 screws here.
Yeah, it's very simple installation.
Yeah. Does it look, I mean, no drilling. We're bolting it up, right? So can you walk us through, we'll probably install the latch first?
So you install the latch first,
Okay.
Find the height that you want.
Yep.
Install the front screws, the side screws, and then you would close your gate, line up the keeper, kind of like installing a Traverse.
I was going to say, this sounds
Only a
familiar as
couple
well.
less screws.
Well, and that's crazy to think about. The Traverse is easy to install. Like I mean, I hope the sales guys aren't listening, but the sales pitch on the Traverse was so easy a salesman can do it.
Yep, true story.
So this is even easier.
Even easier. No, but it doesn't offer the key locking that the
Right.
Traverse does. But
Sure.
you can padlock it. So if you look at that hole right above the
Yep.
latch knob,
Yep.
you can put a padlock through that hole.
Yeah, so we can put a
And-
padlock right through here.
Yep.
And keeps the striker keeps the latch from latching,
Yep.
or unlatching rather.
And the latch is easily reversible. With that off
Okay.
of the product, that latch just pulls out, you flip it over and put it in the other way.
Got it. So both right hand and left hand swing gates work.
Even a sales guy could do that.
Sales guys, we love you. If you're listening, we love you for sure, for sure. But for the contractors out there, I think they know what we're talking about when we say, hey, even your sales guys can do it. We promise. So let's talk about testing for a little bit, because I'm sure the testing you put this through is the same testing you put a lot of your other latches through as well.
Yeah, you saw the party deck.
Yep.
Where we do all of our testing. So, like our other latches, we've monitored it on there, run it through a bunch of cycles, slamming it.
Yep.
Done some kind of modified weather tests inside. Really kind of check that out to make sure that it was going to be a good solid product.
Sure. Can we talk about, and we don't have to get into specifics. I know a lot of this we're not going to talk about, but development cycle for something like this, how much work goes into ensuring that by the time the product gets in the hands of the contractors, it's been tested, it's been designed to be the best version of itself?
It's an interesting question. The best answer is to say, it takes whatever it takes.
Okay. That's fair.
Because the answer is until it's right.
Okay.
So if we come out with something and we develop it, we tool it, we get into testing, and we discover an issue, okay, we're delaying everything. We're going to go back to the drawing board, modify tooling, or even make new tooling and get the product right. I mean, that's a big thing. We stand behind our products. You see the 1,000,000 cycle warranty that we have.
Absolutely.
We're not fooling around. We're going to make it right.
Sure.
Before we launch it. So
and you don't even, on that 1,000,000 cycle warranty, you don't even make people keep track of the cycles.
We don't.
So you say, well, now wait a minute. Which cycle count are you on here?
Well, I mean, we talked about how long 1,000,000 cycles.
I love this conversation because for the people that may not have seen that, can you walk us through, like on a standard gate, what is 1,000,000 cycles?
Okay, so if we went back to the day the Declaration of Independence was signed.
Okay.
We went to John Hancock's house.
Okay.
Because he's got that big signature.
Yeah.
Okay. And we put a set of cornerstone hinges on his front gate.
Yeah, because he's got a great gate.
Oh, he's got a cool gate.
And he's got only the best hardware on that gate.
Absolutely.
So he's got the cornerstone hinges and traverse latch. He might even have a pack latch on it.
He might.
So if that hardware's on the gate.
So, and he's a popular guy.
Absolutely.
So that's opening 10 times a day,
Absolutely.
every single day.
Yep. Even Sunday.
Even Sundays.
Yeah.
And he sold it to someone who used it just as much.
Yep.
And he sold it to someone.
Okay. So
on and so on.
Yeah.
Okay. We'd have more than 25 years before we would hit 1 million cycles.
From now.
So I would say, 1 million cycles is a fair number of cycles.
It's a few. It's a few. I remember I asked you that question just offhand somehow when we were walking, and I was like, million, like that's a lot. And your eyes kind of lit up. You're like, do you know exactly how many a million is? And like 25 years from now.
Yeah.
That's wild. So.
Well, it takes us a year when we cycle test cornerstone hinges in-house. It takes about a year to do that cycle testing.
Excellent. So, and when we're talking about product development, like life cycle or how long it takes, what we alluded to also was that I caught a sneak peek of this last year. So that cycle can take quite a while before you feel comfortable passing it on to say, okay, this is ready to start getting out into the public's hands.
Well, I mean, Trident SS took a couple of years. This product took, probably a little over a year to do.
Okay.
But I mean, we also have products that go pretty quick.
Sure.
We were pretty excited about Traverse, and we got that one through pretty quick. That was probably 8 months.
Nice.
We got an idea to, selling it.
Well, and guys, something to keep in mind. So when I hear you say that, quick is relative, because it's still 8 months of getting it right. Trying, retrying, revising, retrying again.
Prototyping, testing prototypes.
Yeah.
Going into production drawing where my detail guys, all my good engineers are going through and making sure all the I's are dotted, the T's are crossed. Then we go into making the tooling, then testing production tool parts, and then going into production and all of the QC that comes with that. So it's a lot of work to get a product launched.
Well, and one thing I've heard you guys talk about also is it doesn't stop there, right? It can also be revising after the product is in the field to say, hey, here's some feedback that we're hearing that we're actively listening to and taking into consideration and revising products if and as needed.
Well, and that's one of the exciting things about me coming to this show.
Yeah.
And a lot of times there have been years where I've brought other engineers to the show. It depends on where it is and what we have going on. But it's great to sit down and talk to the customers and really get some thoughts on what it's like to use the product actually in the field. I had a couple of great conversations on Traverse yesterday. And, I think we have some neat ideas going forward.
Excellent. That Traverse latch, like I said, we use it a lot, love it a lot. Yeah. I can see how it makes contractors' lives a lot easier and installers' lives a lot easier as well.
It's been a great product.
You beat me to the punch a little bit, though, because I was going to talk about the fact that Nationwide has you here in a booth. And not saying anything about other booths, but I bet a lot of the booths are staffed by sales staff or business managers, that sort of thing. Nationwide takes an active interest in having you here to have those conversations.
Yeah, I think it's 21 years now I've been coming to the show.
Is that right?
Something like that.
So there's a few familiar faces around here as well.
I've seen a couple people.
So you've got something right off your left hand here. We've got another latch. Can we talk for just a quick minute about what you've got here?
Okay, this is our NW6254NL. We also call it the Keystone lever latch.
Okay.
This is a product for someone who wants that lever, that turn handle type latch, but doesn't need the locking because it's a non-locking version.
Okay.
And it's fairly simple to install. One quick hole through your gate, and this mounts on. There's different size spindles that we include. It's easy to get there. Great product.
Okay. So what would be a good use case for the lever version of this latch?
One of the big places I see this being used is like that simple front gate where you don't need it to be locked.
Okay.
You want to simple gate.
Sure.
One of the common areas we actually sell this product is to kennels, dog kennels, because they have a lot of different gates and things around the dog kennel.
Yeah, they're not necessarily locking each and every one of them, but they do need them to stay secure.
Yep.
Interesting. It looks like similar polymer there.
Similar polymer there, right?
Okay.
We're a big fan of that nylon.
Of course.
Well, one of the things is, gate hardware is typically black. I mean, that's about the most common color.
Yeah.
Nylon's an interesting plastic in that the best UV stabilizer for nylon is actually carbon black. So that's that's what makes the parts black.
Okay.
And so black nylon is great in terms of UV stability, but it's also a really tough plastic.
Interesting. So we get the same durability out of it then. Now you talked about kennels, which is probably an indoor, but it's equally yoked for outdoor. I mean, it's probably intended for outdoor use.
Yeah, we designed it for outdoor.
Okay. And it looks like right-hand swing, left-hand swing is ready for both of those?
It's super reversible. All you need to do is actually flip it over, and flip the striker over.
Yeah.
You don't actually even need to undo any screws or flip anything over. You just flip the latch over.
Interesting. So talking about screws, we learned with you guys down in Tampa last year about reversing the traverse latch, and that's just a series of screws comes out, everything's just flipped. This literally just gets flipped.
Yeah, you just flip it upside down.
Interesting. So I alluded to it earlier, but I want to make sure we talk about it, but I want to make sure we got through the content we intended to talk about first before we talk about gate kits. Because let me tell you, gate kits for me have changed how we do, it's taken one step out of our process, meaning that you grab the hinges, you grab the latches, then somebody counts them and signs off that, yes, these are the hinges that we need for the project. This is the latch that we need for the project. Now we're going to hand it off to the crew. With the gate kit, literally, it's already prepackaged. You're taking that, handing it to the crew, and letting them go do the job.
Yeah, it's super simple. It's been wildly successful since we launched it last year. It just makes it so easy for our customers, because they don't have to go through and try to figure out, what hinge do I need? What latch do I need?
Yeah.
They don't have to try to stock all of those products. They can just buy the kit and it's got everything they need.
Yep. If you have an ornamental fence and you're securing a pool, great. There's a pool latch kit available for that. If you've got 2-inch posts and it's not a pool, great. We've got a gate kit for that as well.
And that one's got the traverse.
Yes. Listen, I'm going to keep talking about the traverse because I love installing it. And we've used other latches before and they were okay, but when I tell you these things are easy to install, I mean, they are great to install, great to flip, easy to flip. And I'll use the whole show talking about them just to try to convince somebody to try them out, because once you try those latches out, you won't go anywhere else, I promise.
Yeah, that's usually the experience we have. Someone will try them out and then they're like, oh,
yeah. I will take a case, please.
Yeah.
There's such great latch in the gate kits. So gate kits for variable sized post, right? 2-inch, 2.5. And now I'm just talking about ornamental. That's when we're using the kits. That's a lot of what we're using them for. But also there's vinyl kits available, 4-inch, 5.5 inch,
and 5-inch,
or 5-inch, and then wood gate hardware as well.
We do.
Gate kits.
We have a couple different styles of wood gate kits.
Excellent. Now, if I remember right, last year is when you guys launched the gate kits at FenceTech. Does that sound right? All the years get kind of jumbled together.
Been a lot of them.
So gate kits got launched last year. Love those. Pack latch getting launched this year. I can see us using this a lot for the entry gate that doesn't need the traverse, doesn't need to be lockable, or actually it can be lockable. This is one that doesn't need to be lockable, but. My point being, it sounds like we've got a history of launching products at FenceTech. Is that why FenceTech, I guess? Why launch products here?
I mean, it's pretty simple. Look around. Look at all the people here. I mean, we had like 5,000 people here yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah.
Okay. And I can launch something over social media and send some pictures out.
Sure.
But having people come here, be able to touch, feel, see the product in person, actually try it out. I mean, that's really the best way to launch a product. This is a hands-on industry.
Yeah.
These guys like to actually see the products in person and feel them and touch them and know how they work.
Absolutely. I mean, your guys' website is great at explaining the product. There's a lot of products have the 360 tour. You can know all about them, but there's something about putting your hands on it and just operating it, but also having access to the guys behind the design to say, there's not a lot to question about exactly how this latch works. It just works. But there's some products that probably do need a little bit more technical background to say, now, how does it work? Why does it work? That sort of thing. This is the show to have that conversation.
Absolutely. But you can also call, as you've experienced.
Sure.
You call in, we'll get someone on the phone to help you out. But it is great to have access here at the show. Now,
Eric, since we're on live television, well, this isn't really television. When we're live, I'm going to corner you a little bit.
Television.
I hope we stay friends after I corner you on this one. But so we're big on announcing things. Well, all we've been hearing about is FenceTech Indy. What's around the corner? Is there anything special like behind the screen that we can talk about?
Well, we always have projects going on behind the scenes. For those of you who have been in the industry for a while, I mean, I don't know, it's been 20 years since we've not had new and exciting products at the show.
Sure.
So there's definitely new products in the pipeline.
You're telling me there's a few things on that shelf that is not to be talked about.
Yeah, that's starting to come off the shelf.
Gotcha.
But you're going to have to be here next year to see what we're doing.
To find out what was on the shelf this year coming out next year.
Absolutely.
Very good.
One thing, you love the Traverse, and we didn't talk about it, and we haven't really talked about this one much.
Okay.
But one of the new products that we have are spacers for the Traverse.
Yes. Yeah,
so
absolutely.
They're spacer kits, and they come in, the spacer kit comes with spacers that do 1/2 inch on either side.
Okay.
So it gives you a total of 1 inch. So if you need to do a 3-inch post, you can take a 4-inch Traverse, put the spacer kit on, and now do a 3-inch post.
3-inch.
But if you use half the kit, that gets you from 4 to 3.5.
Yep.
So where can you use this?
On a wood post.
Exactly.
Excellent.
So that's kind of exciting, and we have those now in stock.
Now, Eric, I feel like that might have been a product that came from some customer feedback.
That absolutely did.
Because I remember having some feedback like that last year. Like, what if I would love to use this on, what if? And I could see, like, in your mind, notes were just getting scribbled. Like, you know what? I bet we could figure that out.
And sometimes customers give us good feedback like that. So that kind of helps drive that.
Occasionally. Now, so I'm thinking about ornamental fence. That's the way my mind's geared, because that's what we do as a business. But as I'm looking at these latches, I'm thinking, I mean, we talked about using Traverse on wood. I'm thinking this latch could be used really on a variety of fences, because we're not really limited to what size post we have, right? So we're talking, I mean, ornamental obviously, but wood, vinyl, composite, really whatever gate you've got, this thing can go on.
Yeah, I mean, a little challenge on chain link.
Well,
okay,
sure.
But everywhere else.
Yeah. Well, you can get creative. I mean, I think you could probably get creative on that, maybe.
Maybe.
But
well, that's actually one of the things we try to do. So if you look at what we call our specialty products, and these would be the named products, our cornerstones, our keystones, the pool latches, we try to design those products so that they can be used on a wide variety of materials.
Okay.
So
that makes sense.
So look at a cornerstone hinge. Most of those can be used on just about anything.
Absolutely. Well, and I tell you, talking about specialty products and talking about chain link specialty products, we ought to take a minute and talk about Zip Latch.
Yeah.
It's a product I like a lot.
Zip Latch is great.
Specifically designed for chain link fence that maybe is surrounding a pool or something that you need to have kind of some height restricted access to.
Well, I mean, if we think about, using pools around chain link, which is, really something popular that you see in the Northeast.
Yeah.
You'll see that up in New York and up into New England. It's very common. And what are your choices for a pool latch? You have that push latch, which arguably, meets code.
Yeah.
Or you can use a magnetic pool latch.
Sure.
And we'll be happy to sell you one of those with a round post adapter kit. But if we think about that chain link market, it's not a high end. So it tends to be a little bit more price sensitive.
Sure.
So developing Zip Latch, we wanted something that was targeted more directly at chain link, not just in terms of application, but also in terms of looking at the price point.
Yeah, price point. Sure.
So, there are things removed from that. It's a gravity latch.
Yeah.
So we remove the magnet, which rare earth magnets are very expensive.
Yeah.
We remove the cylinder,
Yeah.
even though we have it padlocked.
Sure.
So we've done things to take cost out of it and make it simple to install.
Well, and that's the thing, making it simple to install as well. I mean, the zip latch is a product that if we had, we've got a retail counter, so we've got people from all walks of life that come in to buy materials, and sometimes a homeowner comes in and wants to buy something that maybe is a bit more sophisticated to install, and we kind of have to walk them through it. Like, are you sure this is what you need? And if so, let me open the package and show you exactly how to install this thing. The zip latch, their kids could come in and we could hand it to them. Like, I would love to walk you through it, but a 30-second view at the instructions, you can do it yourself and be a pro at it.
Oh, it's a very easy latch to install.
Now, one thing to talk about.
We have one here.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about that. If you're watching this, maybe you're not on the show floor, but you're planning on being here. Where can they find the Nationwide booth?
Over there. I don't remember. I'm going to get in trouble because I don't know the number.
Walk in the door, head to the left. It's right there, front left.
Yep. Right on that front row.
Absolutely. Very good. Very good. Well, Eric, we could talk all day. We usually do. We usually do. But thank you so much for coming on. Guys, the pack latch is a latch that I think you should at least try out to add to your inventory for a gate that is more price sensitive but does need to be latched, and you are looking for the longevity of the polymer construction. Great latch for that. Also, gate kits, zip latch. You guys have all of it over there to touch, feel, and try out. Check it out. More information, probably Nationwide Industries website or their Nationwide Industries rep.
Yes, both are great resources for information.
Very good, very good. Eric,
all right.
Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you making time available.
As usual, it's been great.
And I'm going to throw back a callback here. If you guys, let's have a contest is for a high five, a virtual high five, and an attaboy. If you could tell me why we call Eric Viking Eric, virtual high five and a pat on the back.
Yep.
You got to leave it in the comments below.
Sounds good.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. This is the first interview today of many more to come. Keep your notifications on. Keep on tuning in. I love seeing you guys here. As always, any questions, drop them in the comments below. We'd love to talk to you guys live on the air. For now, Joe Everest, the fence expert.
And Eric Timothy, the expert over at Nationwide.
We're reminding you that good fences